Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today we're going to talk about Archmage Yabapmatt as well as the Pickle. And these are new, I don't know what to call them, promo cards that are operating in a very unique way within the Splinterlands context. I think it's fresh and it's going to have impact on DEC as well as SPS, as well as maybe vouchers and probably land. There's so much going on here, so I hope you'll stick around when we unpack some of this. Let's get into it. So this new set of promo cards, if we want to call it that, I guess began with Archmage Yabapmatt, which is a very unique card, and it's a promo, but it's being released inside the packs. And so if you're ripping Conclave Arcana packs, you actually have a chance at pulling this. The details on that are not entirely relevant to the conversation about the Pickle, but they were released here in Discord, and you can see that there are 1,500 regulars, 30 gold foils, 5 black foils, 5 black foil gold foil arcanes, and 1 of 1 black foil arcanes. And so that's an interesting card, and it is available in packs, which is pretty awesome because it's just like an added value on what it might mean to rip those packs. But then also Yaba, who is the creator of Splinterlands, actually bought a Rooney, one with a weapon that had a pickle. Wow. And so somebody had the bright idea that we need to create Yaba's Pickle. And so here we are. Yaba's Pickle release an arcane event, and this post was from an hour ago. There are 3 ways to get your hands on the Pickle. The first is by SPS staking, and that unlocks your ability to buy it with DEC. That's the first way. The second is that there's an opportunity to purchase raffle tickets that will possibly give you a gold foil arcane copy of this card. And then finally, there'll be a black foil arcane auction. And there's more details to come, but check out the stats. Low mana, non-attacking, meaning weapon trainable. Relatively high stats for the mana cost, and then some pretty decent abilities considering mana, considering everything. Dodge, not particularly synergistic with the 2, but nevertheless 25% chance to evade damage, physical damage. Shield, always helpful. Slow, always, certainly great modifier considering you want to be evasive here. And then self-heal. Self-heal is not particularly powerful when you only have 7 hit points. That's only going to heal 2 hit points, assuming you don't get crippled or strengthened. But nevertheless, for 4 mana, pretty solid little off tank. And it does remind me of even some of the older off tanks, like for 5 mana to have like Onyx Sentinel or Archmage, not Archmage R, yes, there he is, Onyx Sentinel with like 8 hit points, a shield, some other damage modifiers for 5 mana, and a relatively slow speed with no attack. In some ways very similar. And so that's a bit about Archmage Yabapmatt as well as the Pickle. Now let's look more at the 3 different ways you're going to be able to get this thing. I think this is going to matter because, as I alluded to in the intro, there's opportunities here that are going to impact DEC and therefore SPS Flywheel stuff, but then also land implications. And what does it mean also? What about midnight potions? I think we've already seen that are spiking as soon as like in the last 30 minutes since this post has gone up. So we'll talk about that in a minute too. But here's what we see. The regular foil drop rates are or the gold foil drop rates are 2% boosted with the alchemy potions, and then black foils are 1 in 4,000 boosted to 1 in 2,000 with midnights. And this little factor is why we are seeing price go up from 6.5 cents today up to 6.8 cents, and I wouldn't be surprised if that keeps going. Interestingly, Yabapmatt is the market's just getting bought up. These prices are ludicrous in my opinion. I don't really know what Empower does, and that's my bad. They did explain it. 234 for 1 BCX of a card is a simple and a flat no to me. Regardless of stun, regardless of relentless strike, regardless of these are all cool abilities. I like this card. There's simply no way I would pay $2,500 for a max Yabapmatt. Nevertheless, people are spending good money on it. The last purchase was $150. And that is actually 25% down because there was a purchase over 200. I posted on X about this. The last purchase before that, $218.99. And so people are spending big money on this thing. I don't get it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying for that much, no thanks. Nevertheless, if that's happening, people are going to want this. If they're going to want this, they're going to want midnight potions. Here's the price on the unit. So if it's important to understand, you can't just buy it. You need to have a certain amount of SPS staked, and that's going to get into the snapshot requirement here. It says you can purchase 1 card per 1,000 SPS that you have staked, in the first of 3 purchase moments. And when if you qualify, like if you have 1,000 SPS stake, you can spend 150 DEC or credits, and you'll be able to buy 1 BCX. And with that, if you have alchemies, you can get that 4% drop rate, and if you have midnights, you can get that 1 in 2,000 drop rate of the black foil. That would be pretty cool for 150 DEC. Certainly a price point that is, I would say, attractive, very attractive. If you do the math on a common card, which this is a common card, then you need 400 BCX or CC. If we go 400 CC times 150 DEC, we're talking 60,000 DEC or $60 US, roughly, give or take the DEC being at or near peg. And so if it's $60, I say this is an amazing card. Amazing card. Again, there's also the possibility that you're going to drop a gold foil or a black foil version. Those would be exceptional. Like this is a quality card. You're going to want it for its functionality, its usefulness, its in-game utility, and yeah, weapon trainability as well. But then within a certain amount of time after that sort of first, and note this, revenue split is happening between the SPS DAO as well as Splinterlands, a team, on these DEC and credit sales. And this will be limited to 30 days only. And then after that, there'll be a second chance that will have nothing to do with how much SPS you've staked. It'll have something to do with 7 days after the first sale. We'll kick off the second chance. And this will be the time where you can get a free gold foil arcane raffle card. Each raffle ticket entered into the raffle will receive a regular foil Yabapmatt Pickle card. Plus each raffle entry will get a chance for a gold foil arcane. So in this way, it's like a raffle, and they're giving something to you, the basic card. But then you have this chance to just get airdropped a gold foil arcane, which is a max level 10, fully equipped, shimmering, shining gold foil arcane, which will be very rare. There's only going to be 50 of those. And there'll be one drawn per day, drawn at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 2 p.m. UTC. And so how do you get the raffle tickets? Well, you need aura. How do you get aura? You get land, and you get aura labs on your land. And so not only do we not have enough midnight potions right now, which is true because of Conclave Arcana, and the price went up to 10 cents toward the end there when everyone was ripping their packs. And by the way, it's only subdued now by a little bit for a short time, because this announcement alone is beginning to move the price back up from 6.5 to 6.8 cents. But this is going to eat through more of your aura. So not the aura that was buying midnight potions, that was minting midnight potions, is now going to be utilized by some, and maybe by, I would think, most land aficionados, to craft raffle tickets. Check this out. You need not only 200 aura, but you need 110 vouchers. That's for one raffle ticket. Remember, 200 aura, 10 vouchers, and by the way, 200 DEC. That is the price of a raffle ticket. That will mint you a raffle ticket. And when you get that raffle ticket, you're going to get, each raffle ticket is going to get you one regular foil Yaba and a chance to drop that once a day gold foil arcane, which is crazy. No ticket limit. Craft and enter as many as you want. Tickets are burned upon entry. So if I enter today, I don't get to repeat tomorrow if I lose. They're burned upon entry. Tickets can be bought and sold on the non-card market. That's also interesting, because this is a second production of functionality or sort of in-game function from land. Not only do Aura Labs produce midnight potions, which are saleable, you can make profit. People are profiting right now from selling their midnights. And I bet that price is going up as we wait. Yeah, we're up around 7 cents, I think now. 6.7. So people are profiting off of that production, but they're now going to also have this raffle ticket opportunity by which they can sell on the in-game peer-to-peer non-card market. Each day's raffle will display how many tickets have been entered, and you'll be able to see your own odds, which is interesting. Some people will wait right before the 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and just drop a bunch of tickets, right? That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So there's strategy, there's in-game mechanics that can be manipulated or thought through for your maximum potential. And that's method number 2. Notice that the stakes are getting higher with the gold foil arcane, not just the basic, but then also with the incorporation of aura and therefore land. It's not just DEC that's being affected by the pickle. It's not just therefore SPS because of the connection with DEC. It's land plots. It's aura use. It's aura labs. It's It's also, we didn't really even talk about vouchers, a small voucher implication here, very modest, I would say. I wonder if this will be the more heavily utilized, or if the main purchase method with the DEC will be more heavily utilized. This is easier in some sense, but you're not going to necessarily have, you can get black foil and gold foil, but you got to use the potions, and do you have them? Option number 2, you can do the raffle and hope for the best. I bet these are not heavily used, but not to say they aren't used, but in comparison to the first method, I bet most people fill their boots with method number 1, and some people have some fun with this secondary method. Because if you pull that gold foil arcane, you are going to be a happy person. I would think $500, $500 for a card like that in the gold foil arcane version, even though it's common. And then finally, there's a third method, and that will be for the black foil auction, which is going to give you access to the Pickle in the black foil arcane version. And it says within 7 days of the gold foil arcane raffle ending, the black foil arcane auction will begin, and cards will be distributed from highest number first to the lowest number last, which is the same approach with the gold foil arcane. Gold foil arcanes are distributed from highest mint to lowest mint, and that's important because it'll make more and more excitement towards the end of the auction or the raffle, in the final days of the raffle. And so that's very cool, maximizing the tension, the excitement, the crowd, the media, like the frenzy of our community really driving, like, hey, it's number 1 tomorrow, the raffle number 1 tomorrow, which might mean for raffle GFAs, maybe the push is on the early days and weeks, right? Because it's 50 days in a row. Yabapmatt's Pickle is going to be raffled off. Maybe those first days there's not very many participants. That could be interesting. Food for thought. And so, how does the auction work? Well, there's something about. Check this out. There's only going to be 20 of them, and 1 per day for with each auction lasting 25 hours. Auction that's in order to let the time rotate around, so that it's not always 10 a.m., 11 a.m., or because that could really hinder certain continents and benefit others. And so with this approach, the auction points need to be crafted. Check this out. You need to craft auction points that you can bid with. And how do you craft them? You need 1,000 aura. Where do you get an aura? Pretoria lands from your aura labs. Another way, if you're spending your aura to get raffle tickets on the gold foil arcanes, then you're not going to have aura to use on the auction points. And remember, the GFA raffle ticket are aura. Those raffle tickets get burnt after you use them. So, yes, you can sell them until you burn them, until you use them, but once you use them, they're burned. And so I think this is a real sink for aura. It's going to mean a great diminishment in the production of midnight potions, which already has shown itself to be inadequate. And I think as we see more players coming forward with more, player-based growth, and them wanting access to Conclave Arcana, we're going to see that they're going to want midnight potions, which is going to mean that the price is going to tick up, I think. At least because of the tightening, requirement and expenditure around aura. It's not just aura though, it's 50 vouchers and 500 DEC in order to create this auction point. And the auction points are exclusive for bidding. They're an exclusive bidding currency. They can be bought and sold on the non-card market. That's interesting. And so a third sort of revenue that's made possible out of land. You could just focus on producing auction points. Why would you want to do that if it's just the pickle? The presumption is that this will not just be the pickle. Check this out. Strategy tip: for future raffles and auctions may run simultaneously, so plan ahead. You might need to decide between multiple high value events. Choose your chase wisely. Get ready, this card is wild, the chase is real. And so the implication there is that there will be other auctions that can happen that will require your auction points. That means you want your aura so that you can generate these auction points, or maybe you buy auction points off the marketplace toward the end of this sale and this auction, or maybe before it really starts getting going, because people get more excited while it's on, but not before it happens. You can maybe get them for a song and dance. You need to think this all through and recognize that there's not enough aura, there's not enough aura labs, there's not enough activated land, and there's just limited all of this tension creates tightness in the supply-demand dynamics, both of the card assets as well as the tokenomics, and definitely now a growing amount within the lands of Pretoria. So in conclusion, I think this card's exciting because it's an interesting card. I think it's exciting because it's a unique way to introduce, I guess, what we would call a promo card in the Splinterlands space. Yabapmatt was new and fresh in its own way, and that's brand new too. The way it was printed and now being added into the packs, like as if it was a airdrop summoner in some sense, but it's different than that too. And so the team is really innovating and thinking things new, I guess, reinventing how we're even approaching card distribution, card creation, auctions, and so on. So I think this is awesome, and I do think this will create tension within the tokenomics of Splinterlands, and that means good things for those who hold those tokens. I personally, just to finish with my journey, I'm going to be buying midnight potions if I see them around, below 7 cents. I'll be acquiring them because I know I'm going to want 7. I'm going to buy as many of those as I can. If it's $60 to buy 400 copies, and if I have 700,000 SPS staked, then I want to buy 700 copies of that card. I have 724,000 staked right now. I'm going to want 724 of those Pickle cards. 150 DC each, that's going to be $90 or something like that. So that's what I want, and that means I'm going to need that number of midnight potions because I want to turn a 4,001 chance into a 1 in 2,000 chance of dropping a black foil from that method number 1. And I think you should want the same too. In the meantime, if you're activating your land, or if you've already activated land in order to produce your auras like I have, then it's not time to slow down just because most people have torn apart their conclave packs and they've used the midnights that they need. Don't sleep. Keep moving. Keep pushing. This is going to create that intentional tension on DEC, SPS, aura, midnights, land, and the card market, because there's just so many things to chase after and we cannot have it all. Man, the chase is real. Thanks guys for your time and attention. I hope you're enjoying the content in the channel. If you are, like and subscribe, and have an amazing day. God bless.